Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai Stuštuvagam Sastanubhih Veshema Devahitai Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. Dear devotees, if you remember the previous class, we finished the first chapter of the Prashna Upanishad discussion. So there we saw a pure thinking or a high thinking actually. We say pure physics, pure geometry. Similarly, here it is about the creation. Generally, we all think how to get more money, how can I get more and more name and fame, power, position, or day-to-day things basically. If a child is there, then a kid will think, how can I get more chocolate or ice cream or a toy? So generally, that's how we all think at a materialistic level. Very few people start thinking about the concepts. And here, the origin of creation, how this creation came into existence, who did start, how it got started. So such high thinking was done by our ancient rishis. So they not only thought about the self or spirit, they also thought of creation. Now, some of you might get question, okay, those time probably they were not aware. Now we are well aware that the spirit or the self or the Atman alone is true or reality, and this world is an appearance or delusion. Then why are we thinking or why are we discussing about this world and other things? What is the relevance? So here the scriptures gives two reasons. One is, yes, that is true, but some of us or some of the spiritual aspirants have got a question or have got an inquisitiveness about the creation or about the universe. So to quench the thirst, intellectual thirst or the inquisitiveness about the creation, the scriptures are discussing. That is the one answer has been given by the scripture. The second answer is given is very important for all of us to get vairagya. Why this nature of creation or the world and its creation has been discussed? It is because to get the vairagya. Here vairagya means detachment. I have attached myself to my body. I have attached to mind. I have attached to my sense organs. I have attached to the world. So I am supposed to get detached from all these things and have to attach myself to the self alone, to the God alone. Now for this detachment, I need a knowledge. Or try to get detached from the world. When I say, our scripture says, obviously we ask a question, why should I get detached? Oh, because it is a delusion, or it doesn't have its independent existence, or it is an appearance. When we say, what do you mean by that? Can you substantiate your argument? So these are the few questions we may face, or the rishis might have faced. Keeping this in the mind, scriptures are explaining these things. This is what technically called adhyaropa apavada. Superimposition and desuperimposition. If probably when we were children, so we build a castle, we build a house, we build something in the mud or in the available small stones. And when parents call, or when the time is up, we have to go back to the house for a lunch or a dinner or whatever. Then we ourselves, we crush it or we demolish it or we break it and we don't really bother about it. So it is like this. Now, if you see what is the origin of creation or how the being came into existence, this is what discussed in the first chapter. That was the first question asked by Katyayana. And there are 4 stages of creation we came to know. Now, if you see Vedanta philosophy, at broadly it speaks of from the Brahman plus Maya, from the Maya Triguna, the Pancha Tanmatras, subtle elements, from the subtle elements, 5 gross elements comes. This is what the standard theory creation is given by the Upanishads or Vedanta. But there are few other theories also. So here it is was Mithuna Srishti and other 3 stages. And in Brihadaranyaka and Chandogya Upanishad, there are few other theories also. So it is one of the theory about the creation. And one more important point or a takeaway message from the first chapter for the seekers is very important. They discussed about 2 paths. One is Shuklagati, the other is Krishnagati. The path of light and the path of darkness. And the path of light takes to the Surya Loka or Brahma Loka. That is what Uttarayana we say, etc. And the path of darkness takes to the Chandra Loka or Soma Loka or Svarga Loka. Now, so the ethics and morality is the base here. So the Vedas have not compromised at all. Whether you are interested or not, ethics and morality, whether can I be ethical and moral, or if I don't like, can I be not? If you ask, the Vedas say there is no option, there is no choice for you. Whether can I perform action or not, you have got a choice, but whether can I be ethical or not, the Vedas or scriptures won't give an option choice for us. Whether can I wear the white dress or the yellow dress or a green dress, yes, civilized society gives an option, gives a choice for us. But whether can I wear the clothes or not, can I go nude in the civilized society outside, if you ask, civilized society doesn't give the choice. So similarly, so to be ethical and moral or not, they won't give. So it has been taken for granted. Now I am performing ethical action, I am performing moral action with desires. If so, then what happens? Yes, when you die, you are performing ethical action and moral action and probably philanthropic action also. Then when you die, your subtle body, again, remember, Atma doesn't travel, your subtle body alone travels. Many times people ask, Swamiji, when we die, where does our Atma travel? Atma doesn't travel anywhere because it is a subject, it is never the object. When it is everywhere, where it can travel? So your subtle body travels to the Svarga Loka, to the heaven. There it enjoys. After enjoying, after finishing the enjoyment, or once your bank balance is over, then you cannot spend anymore. So similarly, when punya is being exhausted, then you come back and you start you start your life in this universe. And the one more thing option, the path is what? Shuklagati, the path of light. If you perform actions, if you perform the ethical and moral or philanthropic actions in the unselfish way and added with upasana, meditation, contemplation, when you do the nishkama karma, selfless action, clubbed with the upasana, different types of meditation or contemplation, seeking the truth, seeking the God or self or whatever, then what happens? Such people, when they are well established in their sadhana, they will go to the Brahma Loka. Or here, it is contextually, it is Surya Loka. There you go there, and after some time, you attain emancipation. So this all we have studied already in the last 2 classes. No, that means if you want to enjoy in the world, if you want to go to either in this world or heaven or wherever, you want more and more joy, never mind, work, but with ethics and morality. Now, someone of you say that, oh, my dear, no. Because the world is with full of mixtures and even the above worlds, it is a limited time. However, it may be, it is limited. I don't want to take this birth and death. I want to get away from the cycle of birth and death, if you say. Then they say, yes, perform the actions in selfless way, unselfish way, and along with contemplation and meditation. So this is how what to do, the scheme of sadhana. The scheme of spiritual practice in the broad canvas has been told. And I think in one of the class I told very clearly, the underlying current of the first chapter is Panchagni Vidya has been told. Panchagni means here 5 steps, 5 stages, how the embodied soul, the the subtle body, when it departs the physical body, that is at the death, how it reaches the Swarga or Surya Loka, Swarga or Brahma Loka. It travels at 5 stages. That is why it is called Panchagni Vidya. So one can, by meditating, one can attain that. And it is also called Panchagni Vidya and all you so. And this Loka, I am saying that what is Loka? That's a beautiful meaning. The Loka, it is called Avalokana. The dhatu, the root meaning of the Loka, Lokru Avalokana. Avalokane it comes. Means which is perceivable by your sense organs or the mind. That is what the world it seems. Either the above worlds, or below worlds, or whichever the world you say, which is perceivable by either your sense organs or by the mind, that is called the Loka or the world. Okay. Now, we all discussed. Now, one more important point probably you can understand here. Now, the action or the contemplation, it is like a tool actually. For an example, mobile. Mobile is an instrument. Today morning, I had been to one of the Parlixton community house, community center. There we had a counselor and few other community heads. We all assembled. We were discussing some other programs, knowing each other. Then there was a question came about mobile. A particular organization, they said, she was saying that she head of a particular organization. She said she is busy in arranging seminars, arranging some events by which people can get away from mobile. People can get away from the detoxification of using the mobile. Now, 10, 15 years before, we were trying to learn the mobile. Now we want to unlearn how to keep away the mobile or whatever. Now, mobile is good or bad? Mobile is neither good nor bad in itself. It is an instrument. Now, some of you might be using the mobile to listen to my lecture. That means you are using the mobile for the good cause. I can use the mobile as a Google map to travel. I may use the Google map to see the weather and to send the email or whatnot. And I can use the mobile to see the reels and waste my time for unconstructive activities. So similarly, mobile is an instrument, but it depends on the usage, the user, and with his desire or intention. So similarly, the action and the upasana, the meditation, neither it is good nor bad in itself. It depends on my uddesha, intention. Now, by the action or the contemplation or any activity, basically, I can use this to accomplish externally materialistic benefits. I want money, I want power, I want position, I want some materialistic benefits, basically. I can use all of them as a tool. Now, the same thing, action or the contemplation or any type of action, basically, it can be used as a tool for the spiritual benefit. So one more thing which we have to understand. Now, when all this Pipila, the guru, Pipilada, when he answered all this, Katyayana's interest or Katyayana's question was answered, he went back and he sat silent. Now, there was a pause. And again, now one more disciple, Bhargava. Bhargava, why? Because he's from the Bhrugu lineage, Bhrugu Vamsha. The founder is what? Bhrugu, sage. In the Bhrugu lineage he comes. That's why he's called Bhargava. Bhargava gets up and he asks. Now you see, very interestingly, though there are 6 disciples, but not 6 gurus. Again, don't get confused. 6 disciples, 1 guru, 6 questions. So one by one, they're asking the question. Many times when we go for a meeting or when we have a Q&A, people start asking. Not all the time. Quite a few people start asking, at a time, everyone. But here, the disciples are so disciplined, one by one they are asking. So I mean, it is not told there, but it is understood when you say ataha enam bhargava in the ataha, when you see in the sloka, ataha, again now, it tells very clearly, okay, first disciple, Katyayana asked, now Bhargava is coming and is trying to ask Pipilada. So one by one in sequence, they're asking. So they're maintaining the discipline. Now, what will be the second question? Second question is what in second chapter? Second question is what? Who is the Lord of all the creatures? We all know that Surya or Prana is the Lord of all creatures, we know. And that Surya was known also as eater, Atta in the body. Surya, the Lord Sun, or the Prana, is the Lord of all creatures. We have seen in the first chapter. And the same Lord is in the form of consumer, in the form of in the body, Atta, we had seen. How is it established? How to be understood? How is it? So how this prana is the Lord of all the creatures, and how this prana is the consumer of our body is what the second question which will be posed by the Bhargava that we will try to understand. Now, before getting into the question, I want to give some, what do you say, background. Now, if you see, when I say I am, this I is a combination of two things at broad canvas. The I, when I say I exist, this I exist is fine, but I is a combination of two things at broad canvas. One is the self, the Atman or the consciousness. Then the second is what? Anatma, non-self. So I is the combination of self and non-self, which we are very sure. Self means consciousness. Non-self means what here? Non-self includes three bodies: gross body, subtle body, causal body. And also you can add this non-self also includes world and its objects. Okay, so non-self includes three types of bodies: universe and its objects. Now self is conscious, or the nature of self is consciousness, we all know that. But it cannot say itself, I am the Atman. Though Atman is consciousness itself, Atman is the essence, Atman is the source of existence, Atman can never say that I exist, I am active, I am conscious, I am the doer. It can never say. To say that you need a non-self, which is body and mind. Whereas, okay, then without self, that body and mind or this universe can be active. Non-self cannot be active without the help of, without the support of the self. So that means for the creation, you need self and non-self, both. Self and not self, both is required for any transactions. Okay. So self is the support, adhisthana, and the non-self is built upon there. So like if you, for an example, self, if you take earth as the adhisthana supporter, and we build a big building and all. The big building is nothing but the non-self. Okay. Now, here non-self is world and its objects. Okay. And three types of bodies. Now, in these three types of bodies, causal body, gross body, and subtle body, what it is, all these things we have discussed already. Now, if you see, in the deep sleep, in the dead body, what happens? In the dead body, gross body says is there. When a person, when I say is dead, he is dead or she is dead, gross body, physical body is there. But causal body and subtle body is not there. So again, people ask, Swamiji, when I die, when a person dies, where does Atma goes? Atma doesn't go anywhere. Does that mean Atma stays in the, does that mean Atma resides in the physical body? If you ask, I say yes, or Vedanta says yes. Then why, then physical body is not aware of it? Because of the lack of vehicle called Sukshma Sharira, that is subtle body. So that means physical body is there, which is dead, but no transactions. That means causal body and subtle body are very important than physical body. Looks like. Okay. Now in the deep sleep, what happens? Your physical body, gross body, and your subtle body is inactive. But your causal body is active. But again, no transactions. In the physical body, your in the death, during when during the death or at the death, physical body exists. Causal body and subtle body doesn't exist, but still there is no transaction. In the deep sleep, your physical body and subtle body is inactive, dormant. Your causal body exists, active, it is active, but still no transaction. Whereas in your dream state, what happens? Your physical body is dormant, inactive, but your subtle body is active. So by this analogy, what happens? Subtle body is what important. That doesn't mean that without causal body, without physical body, things can go. No. Both of them have got their own importance, no doubt, but causal body is very important here. That's what Upanishad is going to say. Now, what this causal body, Sukshma Sharira, includes? I say care of Tattva. So this subtle body includes what? 17 or 19 items. Pancha Gnanendriyas, 5 sense organs of knowledge. Pancha Karmendriyas, 5 sense organs of action. Pancha Pranas, 15. So according to Tattva 17. So 2 more is Manas and Buddha, Mana and Chitta. Or Mana and Buddhi or Mana and Ankara, they say. But whereas in other Upanishads, they say 19, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Mind, intellect, ego, and memory. Okay, we all know that. Now, among these 17 components, which is important? You say, Swamiji, we all know that I is very important. Because most of our actions depends on the I, so that's where. Someone say, oh, may not be. Ear is very important. Someone say tongue is very important. If someone is foodie, then he or she will say that tongue is very important. Someone say, oh, no, mind is very important. Without mind, nothing can exist. So like that, people can argue. So there's a beautiful explanation, figurative explanation, that there's a story, there's a quarrel between all these 17 components. Who is great? Am I great? I am great. I am great. Then Prana says that, oh my dear, without any one of you, still person can exist, but without prana, none can exist. So the greatness of the prana has been explained in the 2nd chapter. And in the 3rd chapter, the meditation or the prana upasana, Hiranyagarbha upasana, has been told in the 3rd chapter. So basically, the 2nd chapter is what? The 2nd chapter is the greatness of the prana has been explained here. So if you understand this, then probably you'll be able to understand the 2nd chapter easily. So prana tattva, the principle of prana, energy, is being glorified here. And samashti prana tattva, the sum and total of all individual pranas is what? Hiranyagarbha. That is what Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, in a Puranic language. In the Upanishadic language, it is called Hiranyagarbha, which probably you might remember. Okay. Ataha enam bhargavo vaidarbhihi prapaccha bhagavan kati eva devaha prajam vidharayante katara etat prakashayante ka punarayesham varishta iti. So, ataha, next in order. Next in order means what? Katyayana, he asked, he finished his question. Now, next in the order, the 2nd question is asked one by one. They're asking. The next person, that is Bhargava, came to ask. Ataha, next in order, Bhargavaha Vaidarbhihi. Because he's from Bhrugu lineage, Bhrugu Vamsha, Bhrugu family, that's why he's called Bhargava. And he has got one more name, is called Vaidarbhi. He is also known as Vaidarbhi. One more name he has got, that is Vaidarbhi. Why? Because he is from the country called, a state called Vidarbha. So he's from Vidarbha, that's why he's called Vaidarbhi. Okay. Prapacha. He asked questions. He asked questions means, see, here he asked questions, we read the translation and we go. But here the interesting is, he asked questions means what? Katyayan asked only one question. But this Bhargava is asking a group of questions. That's why they are using the questions actually. That means he didn't ask one question, he asked few questions. How many questions we will see in the sloka itself. Prapacha, he asked few questions. And is addressing the teacher how? Bhagavan. Oh, sir, hi, Swami. I mean, it is not, I'm not saying that they are all wrong, but that's how we ask sometimes. But here, with all great respect, with reverence, he is addressing the teacher and is asking, Bhagavan, oh adorable one, Kati eva devaha. First question. Kati eva devaha. How many deities? Here, deities means what? It is what? Indriyas, sense organs. 5 sense organs of knowledge, 5 sense organs of action, which all know that. So basically, devaha means what here? Sense organs. So how many deities? Prajaha vidharayante. A being is sustained. So how many deities are responsible for the sustenance of a creature or a sustenance of the being? Now, how do I exist? What is the necessity of my sustenance? Oh, I need body, I need mind, I need energy, I need food, I need clothes, I need shelter. I can give so many lists. Among them, if I ask what is very essential, it is very difficult for us to say. So here also he is asking how many deities are required for a being to sustain, or how many factors, how many divine principles are required to sustain a being or a creature. So this is the first question. Then, Katare etat prakashayante. How many of them, how many deities, how many of them or how many of those deities declare or proclaim their own glory? Oh, I am great, I am great, I am great. So how many of them are proclaiming their glory? This is the second question. Punaha, again he didn't stop. Again he's asking one more question. In one question or in one at a time, he's asking multiple questions. Punaha, again, Kaha yesham varishta iti. Among so many deities or among deities, among group of deities, who is great, who is chief among them, who is supreme among them? So these are the 3 questions. So how many deities are required to sustain a creature? How many of them proclaim their glory? And who is the chief among them? So these are the 3 questions asked by the Bhargava. Now, okay. Varishta eva iti. We will go to the, I mean, here nothing philosophy, the answers will be given. We will see the second shloka now. Tasmai sahovacha akasho hava esha devah vayuragni apah prutivi vayu manaschakshu shotrancha te prakasha abhivadanti vayam etad banam avastabhya vidarayamaha. Now, tasmai hovacha, saha hovacha, ha uvacha, tasmai, to him. To him, it is a pronoun, we know that. To him means what? To Bhargava. To Bhargava, saha, he. See, again, very interesting. Many times people say, hello, when someone phones, so I don't have their name. My phone, I mean, I have not saved their number. So someone phones, hello, Swamiji, how are you? And who are you? I am speaking, Swamiji, I am speaking, Swamiji. Okay, fine, you are speaking fine, but who are you? Who is that I? Oh, I am Swamiji, I am Swamiji. So when we start a conversation, first we should use noun and we should use pronoun. Many times we take it for granted and we start using pronouns. We don't get it linked actually. Now here also saying that tasmai, to him, sahovacha, he is speaking. So is it pronoun? Then how to understand? Here contextually we have to understand. To him, to Bhargava, saha uvacha. Saha means who? He. He refers to whom? Here Pippilada. Uvacha. He is answering the questions. He said, he answered, or he is answering. Akashaha Hava Yesha Devaha. You are asked Devaha. There are so many deities you are asked. So, in fact, there are quite a few deities. Among them, to start with, I am telling Akashaha. Akasha means it is many people think that the blue color sky, the blue sky which we see, that is called Akasha, or sky with or space we think. No. So Akasha means Avakasha, which sustains. So that is what Akasha means. It is a space actually. So space is the deity, first deity. So how many deities are required to sustain a being? This is the first question. So it has been answered now. Space, in fact, is the first deity which is necessary for the sustenance of a creature. Now I'm sitting here and I'm talking. To sit here, I need a space. For example, I go to a place where here in the bus, it is so much houseful. Even I am not able to stand. Then where to speak of sitting, because there is no space available for me to sit or stand. So space is required for all of us, isn't it? So space. Then not only space, these are the 5 gross elements which is required for the creation for our body, which we know that. Akasha, that is space, okay. Vayuhu, Vayu, air. Agnihi, that is fire. Apaha, water. Prithvi, the earth. These are the 5 elements are required for the sustenance of a creature. Why? Because this whole universe is made up of these 5 elements. The sum and total of these 5 elements, because of that, this world is made up of manifested universe. Not only that, this physical body, the gross body, is also made up of the combination of these 5 elements. How to see the space in myself? Stomach. When I eat full, what happens? I feel like it is full. That means there is a space inside. And air, breathing. We all know that. Fire, because of our body temperature. And water, 70% of our body is with full of water. We all know that. With the lack of water, there will be dehydration. And interestingly, recently I came to know that because of the lack of water, dehydration, or a BP fluctuation, the lips can go dry, it seems. Anyhow, so water, we know earth. This body has got solid body, which is made up of earth. Okay. Then Vak. So only they are used 1 year, Vak. Vak represents the Pancha Karmendriyas. 5 sense organs of action has been represented by Vak. So my body is made up of 5 gross elements. And not only that, and this Sukshma Sharira also contains, Sukshma Sharira and Stula Sharira also contains these 5 Karmendriyas, 5 organs of knowledge. What are those 5 organs of knowledge? Most of you should be remembering. Vak, that is mouth. Pani, hands. Pada, feet. Payu, rectum. And Upastha, genitals, which we have discussed all these details, and Adidevatas, the presiding deities of this are who are they in Tattvabodha. Okay. Vang, Manaha, mind. Now this Manas represents Antakarana. Either you can take 2 or you can take 4. So Manaha represents Manas, the doubting faculty of our mind. Then Buddhi, that is deciding faculty of our mind. Then Chitta, memory, that is the memory the function, memory faculty, and Aham, the notion of I. So Manas represents that Antakarana. Then Vang Manaha, Chakshu Shotrancha. So Gnanendriya is probably he felt important. That's why he has listed 2 Gnanendriyas. That means all the 5 Gnanendriyas we should take. So what is that? 5 Gnanendriyas, we all know that. 5 sense organs of knowledge. Chakshu, that is eyes. Shrotram, that is ears. Tvak, skin. Jivha, tongue. Grana, that is nose. So 5 organs of knowledge, 5 5 sense organs of action, and Antakarana, that is 4 or 2 you can take. So put together 17 or 19. All these things are told here. So all these things are contributing to the sustenance of the individual being. Because how many deities are required for the sustenance of a being? That is what the first question of the Bhargava. So the Guru is telling all these components, all these deities, 17 deities are responsible for the sustenance of the human body or of a being or of a creature. Okay. Then what was the second question? How many of them they proclaim their glory? How many of them they say that we are unique, we are great, without us, the being or a living being cannot sustain? If you ask, te prakashaya abhivadanti. All of them proclaim their glory. No one says we are inferior, we are small, or without me, still things can go ahead. No one says. Everyone says that we are all great, we are all supreme. Without us, you cannot sustain and all. Basically, all these things are required for us. That's what, in the figurative sense, in a symbolical way, the Pipilada is telling. So te means who? Panchabhutan, that is 5 gross elements, karmendriyas, gnanendriyas, and antakarna. All of them prakashayanti. They exhibit their glories. They proclaim their glory or uniqueness or their functionality and the necessity and etc. Then abhivadanti. Abhivadanti means they speak about their importance, uniqueness, and necessity. Vayam, we are very important. We are like the pillars of the palace. We are like the pillars of the building or whatever you say. Vayam, we are very important. Yetat banam. Banam means what? Arrow. One more is bana linga, we say that. Isn't it? Here banam means what? It is the physical body, gross body. Yetat banam. Vayam yetat banam. We are part of this physical body, gross body, avastabhya. And why we are great, we are unique. We have got a functionalities, individual functionalities, not only, very important, avastabhya. We are holding together. We are holding the creature, we are holding the being all together. That's why everyone is telling that I am important, I am important, I am important. Okay. And vidharayamaha. Vidharayamaha means unquestionably we are holding. Means not allowing to disintegrate it. When I die, what happens? The Sukshma Sharira, it travels, it goes away. Then this body becomes a part, when it burns, it becomes a pot full of ash. Or if you bury, then what happens? The Prithvi Tattva, it goes to Prithvi Tattva, Jala Tattva goes back to Jala Tattva and all. So the Panchabhutas gets disintegrated actually. But while I am living, the Panchabhutas are integrated. So they are telling that, all of them are telling that we are responsible for holding together and for the sustenance of a being and sustenance of a creature. Now, if you are following my, my discussion or explanation carefully, you will get an idea, you will get a question, you should get a question that, what about prana, Swamiji? You didn't speak of prana at all. Prana is very important. Life force, life breath or life force or energy, you say. We didn't speak here at all. Did Pipila forgot? Pipilada, did he forgot or did he forget? Or he's keeping suspense anything? If you see, they say yes. Now, this same story has been beautifully told in the Brodhananaka and Chandogya in a little more, in a very funny way. Probably, I don't know whether I will be able to tell this class or next class, maybe I will try to tell. Okay, we'll go to the third sloka. Tan varishtaha prana uvacha ma moham apadyata aham evaitata panchadatmanam pravivanja etad bhanam avastabhya vidarayam iti te ashraddadanaha babhuvaha. So when they were declaring that, oh, we are all great, or I am great, I am ready, because of me, the living creature is sustaining. Then one person or one fellow, one deity was keeping quiet. Okay, my dear, jump. How much ever you want, you jump. I will come last. I will show who am I, who is great. Now, Tan, to them means whom? To Panchabhutas, 5 gross elements, to Gnanendriyas, to Karmendriyas, to Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, to Antakarana. Some fellow started, oh, my dear, shut up your mouth, keep yourself shut. None of you are great. Don't simply shout. Why? Varishtaha pranaha uvacha. Pipila is saying, Pipila is used as an adjective, Varishta, the chief, superlative degree, the Varishta. So the Varishta prana, the chief prana, uvacha, he started discussing, he started telling. Till now, the prana was silent. When all others were declaring about their greatness, prana was silent. Now prana started telling that just shut up yourself, hold your horses, come on, I am great. Let me speak now or let me prove. Why? Ma moham apadhyata. Oh my dear, please don't get into delusion and say that I am great. Ma moham apadhyata. Ma, not moham, delusion, apadhyata, may not get. Don't get into delusion. May you not get into delusion. You are thinking that you are all important. You are all supporting ones, no doubt. Everyone has got their unique contributions, but without you, the being cannot sustain. Without you, being cannot hold together if you think that it is not so. Why? Aham eva, aham eva, I alone. I alone means here prana. Aham eva etat bhanam avastabhya vidarayami. Without any of you, still a person can sustain. A person can exist. But without me, nothing can sustain. Neither you can sustain, nor a being can sustain. So, etat bhanam, this physical body, avastabhya vidharayami. I am supporting the body actually. I am supporting this creature. I am supporting the being. I am holding them together. I am holding all of you together. Without you, you cannot, a living being cannot be living or sustaining, which we all know that. How am I doing? Okay, if you ask, how are you performing this action? How can you say that you are holding all of us together? If you ask, because avastabhya you told, how do you say? If you ask, I am telling panchada avibhajya pravibhajya. Panchada atmanam prabhivajya. Oh, I have divided myself into fivefold and I am trying to maintain the whole creation, whole sustenance. Panchada pravibhajya. Panchada, we all know that based on the functions, the prana has been divided into 5 types. One is prana. The prana has got one more one more form based on the function actually. There is no physical 5 parts. There's only based on the function it has been told. Cognitively you can say. Prana. The prana is responsible for our respiration system. Then apana. Apana is responsible for the excretory system, removing all the dirt and etc. Then Vyana. Vyana is responsible for our circulatory system. Then Samana. Samana is responsible for our digestive system. Then Udana is responsible for reversing system. Now this reversing system has got 2 functions actually. One is our immunity. We all got immunity. If some foreign particles comes into our body will try to kick away out, throw it out. All these things of Udana. And finally, the Udana, when does the reversible process, then only a person dies. Pran chala gaya, we say in Hindi and all in India basically. So prana left the body, means for to leave the sukshma sharira, subtle body from the physical body, the udana has to perform. When the udana performs, then what happens? The subtle body goes away. It reverses the life process. Okay. Te. Okay, so I am important. I am trying to maintain this body and I am trying to hold all of you together and I am great. Without me, none of you can sustain, none of you can hold together. He said, Prana declared about its uniqueness, his uniqueness. Now te means those. Who are those? Panchabhutani and Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas and Manas. Those Ashtadadhana Babuvaha. Ashtadadhana Babuva. They remain unfaithful. Means they didn't accept the argument of the prana. So basically it is in a story form or in a symbolic way, the Pippilada is telling. So the glory of or the importance of the prana has been explained here. So, which we all know that. Now, interestingly, if you see, for an example, a person is blind. Even if my eye is not working, if a person is blind, still one can perform. Yes, I cannot understand few things, I cannot see things, and I may not be able to understand color and all colorful world when we say. A blind person cannot say, but still he can sustain, he can do many activities. Similarly, someone is dumb. He cannot hear, but still one can live. And someone has got some problem and is not able to smell, but still one can sustain. Then, because of something, the taste has gone, the sense of taste has gone, but still people can sustain. Okay, in a coma stage, what happens? His brain is inactive, his brain is dead. That's why we say coma, but still he is living. That means any physical organs, or I mean any sense organs of knowledge, sense organs of action, even they are not working, still a person can sustain. But if there is no prana, no. This which we all know that. So that same thing has been told in the very symbolic way, or in a figurative way, or in a story form. So how it is, if you say when prana declares, other sense organs of knowledge, sense organs of action, 5 elements, they didn't accept. Oh, no, no, you are boosting yourself. You are doing a crowing, like you are declaring yourself, you are great, but it is not so. We are not ready to accept. Then prana tries to make them to realize. That has been told in the next 1 or 2 slokas. We shall try to understand we shall try to listen in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Next week I'll be going to Kilkenny for in a college I have got some maybe a talk and also a panel discussion. So that will be evening. And probably I think as a result, I think I will not be able to take class next week. So maybe after 15 weeks, we'll have a class on Prashna Upanishad. And if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Just the clarification, prana, apana, vayana, udana, samana. So this is respiration, excretion, circulation, and then I missed one probably.
So prana is respiration, then apana is excretion, vyana is circulation, samana is digestion, and udana is what? Reversing. Yeah.
And then you said during deep sleep. No, the one previous question is during deep sleep, you said that gross body and subtle body are inactive.
Yes, causal body is active.
Causal body active.
Yes. Yes, causal body is active. That's why you are ignorant.
Okay.
And when you get up, that's why you are aware of that ignorance.
Okay.
No, I gave that analogy to make just simple understanding how prana is important, or how subtle body is important to make understand. Just I gave that analogy of the sushupti and also about dead body. So in the deep sleep, if you see, your physical body and subtle body is inactive. And in the dream state, your physical body is inactive, gross body, and your mind is only active. Of course, ignorance also, but causal body exists there, but your subtle body is predominant there actually.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Any other questions? What is the function of causal body in deep sleep? Yeah, it is an interesting question there actually. So actually, it doesn't do anything actually. So, or rather, you can say that the causal body is covering just it's a, understanding, I can say that causal body is covering the self. Whereas in the samadhi, that covering will goes away. It covering gets uncovered. That's why you are aware of yourself. Who am I? But in the deep sleep, your body and mind is at rest. Your body, your sense organs, your mind is at rest, but self is covered with that ignorance. So the ignorance is covering yourself, and that's why you are ignorant there. Ignorant of the real nature. Whereas in samadhi, what happens? That ignorance gets destroyed and uncovered, and that awareness will be there. Again, I mean, comparatively, I'm telling, because in samadhi, or when you are entering samadhi, or when you come out from samadhi, only you'll be able to tell, I was aware of that, or I have experienced that. Because while you are in samadhi, you cannot tell that I'm experiencing the ananda or whatever. Because that triputi, experiencer and experience and experienced, all the three will not be there, which I think most of you know that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then I think no more questions.
Maharaj, I have one question actually related to the previous session. Actually, there was in the last chapter you mentioned that in there was a verse explaining why we are trying to learn all this creation and everything. Actually, because just to understand that everything is divine. Actually, so there are so it means that in this creation there are good and bad things are also happening. Can we also think that bad things are also divine? Actually, sorry, it might sound very stupid, but yeah.
No, it is a beautiful question. It is a very important question also, I feel. No. So when you say evil, so Swami Vivekananda tells a very beautiful explanation, gives a beautiful explanation for this. So like for an example, what is darkness? Now, this is a beautiful concept which among the philosophy, there's a discussion. For an example, Nyayikas and, I don't know whether how much you will be able to understand. Very interesting. So, Abhava or the darkness, Abhava is an important independent existence for Nyayikas and Vaisheshikas. Vaisheshikas are logical realists and Nyayikas are logical, Vaisheshikas are atomists and the Nyayikas are logical realists. For both of them, Abhava, what do you say, absence itself is an independent entity actually. Now, when it comes to the other schools, especially Vedanta, they won't accept as an independent existence. That there's a lot of discussion goes into it and all. So similarly, even darkness. So does really darkness exist? If you ask commonsensically, we all say yes, because we are experiencing it. For example, now there's a night here and there is a darkness. So darkness exists. So now the question comes, yes, darkness exists because I'm experiencing it, but is it real? Is it real means has it got independent existence? You may say yes, but Vedanta says no. It is only the absence of the light. That's what it is, the darkness. So in reality, there is no darkness at all. It is only the absence of light is darkness. So similarly, good and evil. Good and evil, yes, in the dualistic world, it is all real and we all accept, yes, no doubt. But what do you mean by evil? It is only the absence of good. So evil is nothing but what? Absence of good or the lesser manifestation of the divinity. So-called you good, when I say something is good, something is holy, the manifestation of the divinity is at peak. Maybe it's at 80%, 90% or 95% in the goodness, in the holiness, whatever we say. What about the then devil or the evil? If you say the manifestation of the manifestation of the divinity is minimal there actually.
Okay.
So everything is divine. Okay, Upanishad says, then we see good and bad. Is it contrary to Upanishad then? Then is it our experience is contrary to Upanishad? If you say no, then how to, then what is the explanation if you ask? Upanishad says, my dear, it is only the manifestation of the divinity is lesser in the so-called evil. The same thing we can take that with the saint and the sinner. Saint and sinner, like for an example, who is called Samadarshi? Who is a equal-minded person? Or who is a person of wisdom, if you ask? Shunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. He is a Samadarshi, he is called Pandit. Pandit means not the learned person, experienced person, who has experienced the truth. Who sees same thing, the same reality in the dog eater or the sinner or in the human being or in the woman or in the male or in the dog eater. Who sees the same thing in everyone is the Pandita, is Samadarshi. He says, now the saint and sinner, how can I see the same thing? Because someone is saint, is a holiest person, and the other is a sinner. How can I see them, both of them, in the equal mindedness? Scripture says that, but fine, but how can I see that it is not practically possible? In reality, if you ask, Swami Vivekananda tells beautifully in the Karma Yoga, the explanation he gives. What is the difference between the saint and the sinner? Both are divine, intrinsically, both are divine. Inherently, both are divine. There is no question, there is no iota of doubt. Whereas the difference is only in the manifestation. In the saint, the manifestation of the divinity is at optimum level. Whereas in the sinner, the manifestation of the divinity is in minimal. Now, how should I see everyone? You see, both of them intrinsically, both of them are divine. That is the reason I need not to hate anyone. Even I need not to hate the sinner. Why? Because intrinsically, inherently, he is also divine. He is also God. But there's a thick cloud of ignorance, thick cloud of what do you say, wrong perceptions or wrong, which is called nothing but character. So just like a dirt, remove the dirt, then he's also a jewel, which is nothing but divinity. I hope you understand.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, good night, divine dreams.